Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to the Soul Reader, and the show will be starting in approximately 4 minutes, and you'll be able to see my beautiful face. So you won't only hear my voice, you will see me too, which is great, and it will be live. But if you're watching this in replay, you can fast forward past this portion and get right into the show. And to let you know, this is not a spoiler alert. Tonight's episode, I'm going to discuss letting the wrong person in. Letting the wrong person in. It's not something you want to do, but it seems that we do that without knowing. So that's what I'm going to talk about tonight. And also remember that you still can get a free reading here, a free reading. But if you're apprehensive about that, you can book a private reading, which is $60 for 1 hour. But it's up to you. You can get a free one tonight, or you can get a private one for $60 and for an hour. And whether you realize it or not, it's probably something you need. So think about that. We have about 2 minutes and 30 seconds to go, and we will be right with you. And when I say we, that's me and Jill, my lovely producer, and my wife. So soon that will start. What else have we got going on? Also, I want to let you know that there's a couple of ways you can be on the show. And when I say be on the show, I don't mean just by watching it. There's a couple of ways that you can actually be on the show with me, like you're my guest if you want. And the easiest way to do that is when the QR code pops up, talk to me. All you have to do is scan it with your phone, and within seconds almost, you will be on the show. We will announce you. Either I will announce you or Jill will announce you, and we can have a conversation. Now, you don't have to get a reading if you don't want. We can just talk about whatever. You might just want to say, "Hi, what's up?" Also know that you can watch the show on Facebook and YouTube. You can also watch the show at my website, knowtobestill.com/podcast. And that's easy also. You can watch the show from your browser. You can watch the show from your phone, whichever you want. And that can be on Facebook or YouTube or the website, like I said earlier. All right, we've got about 40 seconds to go, and you will see me live, and you can talk to me live if that's what you wish to do. So please stand by. And real quick, if you are going to be on Facebook and you want to talk to me on the show, there'll be a link there that you can just click on, and that will also take you straight to me, and we will see you when you come. So please stand by. Show's getting ready to start. Hey, I am here. It's the start of another fabulous show right here on the Soul Reader with me, Anthony Cordova, Tony C, the man about love, because I want to spread some love. I want all of us to learn to love each other. So, welcome to the Soul Reader. All right. Ooh, I hope you all are getting ready, because tonight I'm going to be talking about letting the wrong person in. That's going to be the topic this evening. But before I get to that, um, a couple of things. If you've just joined the show just now, there's a couple of ways you can watch the show. And if you're here already, you're watching it one of these ways. But if you're watching this in replay, I can tell you you're probably watching it also one particular way. But there are several ways you can watch this show. So one is by going to my website, notobestill.com/podcast, and you can check it out there. Also, you can watch on YouTube and Facebook. And also during the live show, you can talk to me anytime you want by clicking on the QR code that you see with your phone. That will be the easiest way for you to communicate with me. So if you want a free reading tonight, when the time comes, this is what you need to click on, and you can click on it right now if you want to, and that'll put you in the queue, and we'll know that you are there. So I think that's about it for housekeeping, so you know how things work and all of that. So I do want to get to the show, and it's in a segment I call Tony's Mind Mashup. Yes, I'm going to try to mash our minds together. And the topic for this show this evening is letting the wrong person in. Wow. What is that? Letting the wrong person in, quite often, we don't understand what that is. Letting the wrong person in. Oh, and just a reminder, why am I talking about this? Because I'm a psychic natural born empath. Most of you that watch the show already know this, but if you're new, I'm a psychic natural born empath, and I'm more of an empath than anything else, and I can feel your emotions. So I'm able to identify things in you that you may not know yourself, or you may know, but you don't know what to do about it, or you may not know why you make certain decisions in your life. This is what I can help you with. So let's get back to the topic, which is letting the wrong person in. So a lot of people may think, oh, letting the wrong person in, maybe that's a person that's going to scam you. Maybe that could be a wrong person to let in. Maybe it's a person that is going to be abusive to you, verbally and physically. Yes, that can be that type of person also. But I think I want to get a little deeper with this, and why we, including myself, I am guilty of this. Most people are guilty of this. So what I'm focusing on tonight is someone you might call, we deem a frenemy, but not specifically. So one of the things we do in our lives as people is we identify with what is familiar with us. We identify with what is familiar with us, to us. And what is that? I mean, really, what is that? So let's start with childhood. Let's say you have a parent that is passive aggressive. Passive aggressive, they They come off nice. They're nice, but then they say negative things to pull you down. Um, quite often, I talk about relationships between mothers and daughters and fathers and sons. And quite often, these are the things that set us up to have the relationships that may not be a positive thing for us. So, if if you have that, so let's say um, when you're growing up and you and your mother have that type of relationship, uh, like your mother may say something like, "Oh, you're so beautiful if you'd only lose a little weight." You're so beautiful, but you should lose a few pounds. You're so beautiful, but you're getting a kind of flabby. Things like that. Um, or let's say it's males, and you have a relationship with your father, and your father says, "You're so smart, but you're kind of wimpy. You're so smart. Don't be such a big sissy. You're so smart. Learn to be a man. Don't be a sissy. Be a real man." And what is a real man? Well, a real man to maybe your father was somebody that drinks and cusses. Okay? So, these are just a few examples of things that might set you up later on in life, uh, to find these frenemies, to find the wrong people in your life. So we are familiar with our parents. We are familiar with our siblings. We are familiar with our close friends as we grow up, from when we're young, 5 years old, 6 years old. We're familiar with that. But what happens is, as we get older, we tend to align ourselves. And I'm not saying every person we align ourselves with, but we unknowingly will find a friend that isn't really good for us, because these friends say the same negative types of things, or the passive aggressive types of things that maybe our parents said to us, maybe our siblings said to us. And you think, well, why would I do that? Why would I find a friend that makes me feel bad? Well, we love our parents. We identify with our parents. Our parents, although not perfect, are comforting to us. It's our protection. It's our safe place. So when we meet someone or become friends with someone that has those same type of traits that our parents have, it's a familiar feeling. You'll meet a friend and you'll be like, "Oh, they it seems like I've known them forever." And the reality is, you have known that type of personality for a very long time, even though you've just met them. So this This is how you do that. And this is how you identify with a friend that may not be so good for you, because you may think they're always in your corner. They're always supporting you, and they probably are. But then they'll also put that negative type of thing that maybe your parent did, that negative thing. They might say to you, "Oh, you're the smartest friend I have. You're a straight A student. All you need to do is fix your clothes." Okay. Now, they may believe that they're doing a positive thing by putting it that way, but they don't have to put it that way. But when they say something like that, you don't take any offense to it because you've been hearing it all your life. It's familiar. So you don't notice it. You don't notice these things. So you have a person in your life that may be the closest person to you, but that person may not be the best thing for you in order for you to grow, in order for you to find out who you truly are. Now, the question is, do any of us really know who we truly are? In the beginning, probably not. But with some work, with some care, with some love for yourself, we can continue to discover that as we grow older. Now, quite often we need some help to do that. We can't do it on our own. It's hard to identify who we are ourselves because we're just kind of too close to ourselves, the personality that we have created or become. But we're not living as our true selves because there's people in our lives, and it doesn't have to be just one friend. It could be many friends. It could be many family members that make you feel a certain way. Now, what that certain way is can be different for many people. But you know what I'm saying? They'll say something that just makes you feel off. And you may brush it off. You might say to yourself, "Oh, I'm just too sensitive. I need to toughen up." But there's many, 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 many different types of situations. And this is partly why I'm here. As an empath, I see these things, I feel these things that you may not be able to identify in yourself, but you feel these little twinges. You know, it you can feel like something is off with my life. How come things don't run smoother for me? How come I'm not further on in my life than I am? How come all of my relationships seem to end up bad? All of these things is what I can help you connect two. Now, a lot of people, and I know this, a lot of people are afraid uh, to get a reading from me. Now, they'll get a reading from a psychic, and the psychic will, talk a little bit about you, and they will talk about other things in your life. They will talk about relationships in your life, or that you are going to meet the right person, or that your financial situation is going to change. And that's good. That's a very good thing. It's a positive thing. It helps you, it helps give you some relief uh, from the way you're feeling. But what I do is a little deeper than that. And that's what can frighten a person, because I'm really getting into who you truly are. And it can be frightening. But remember, I do not read minds. I am not going to say, you did such and such with somebody on such and such a date and all of that. No, no, that's not what I do. But I also want to say quick hellos to Connie, and I want to say a quick hello to really Charlie. So thank you so much. Some of my favorite people are here. And if I haven't met you before, I want to say again, welcome. Thank you for coming. I'm happy that you're here, and I hope you get something from the show. Now, again, any of you that want to speak to me right now, again, you don't have to get a reading. You just might want to say, hey, Tony, it's good to see you. Hey, whatever it is you want to do. You may want to share with the audience maybe a story on how maybe you had a frenemy and you got rid of the frenemy. You put some distance between them, and why you did it, and how that made your life better, uh, and how it helped you become centered. Because it's difficult for us to get centered in life. And what is centered? What the heck does that mean? What in the world is being centered? As you all know, I try to keep things simple. So being centered means you really begin to learn about who you are, and you become very confident in who you are, and you begin to really love yourself. Now, the more you're able to love yourself, and I'm not talking about selfishness, I'm talking about really being happy with who you are. You become a person that will never say, I hate this about myself. You become the person that never will say, oh, I hate myself. You will always think positive, or try to always think positive about yourself. And everyone has negative thoughts from time to time. And that's okay, that's natural. But when you begin to become centered, you realize it when you start doing that. When you start putting yourself down, that you're not good enough, you realize oh, wait a minute. I'm putting myself down. That's not a good thing. That's not how I love myself. That's not how I stay positive. And when you do that, when you get centered, when the trivial little things that happen in our lives every day, the things that used to bother you, will no longer bother you. It, poof, they're gone. And you start to see yourself clearer. And even more importantly, you begin to see the people around you clearer. Okay? So, for instance, when I see people, when I meet people, and it's partly because I'm an empath, but it's also because I've become more centered in my life, and it's taken a long time for me to get to this point. But I'm able to see people and feel people. So if there's someone that I meet, and they're always coming off angry. Okay, I don't even have to read that person because I don't walk around reading everyone that I meet. I don't want to. I don't want everybody in my head. I don't. So without even reading a person, I might be able to say, oh, that person's really hurt. So this anger that they're putting out all the time is just because they're hurt. 9 times out of 10, that's what the issue is. Now, where they became hurt is a whole nother thing. That's something I would have to read them to find out. But again, I don't want to read everybody. I don't want everybody's emotions in me. But in the past, people used to say, other people that had gifts would say, "You're walking around wide open." And that's not good for you. And walking around wide open means that as I go through my day to day, everybody's emotions, people's anger, people's pain, people's joy, everything that people are feeling around me would just come into me. Okay? Just come into me. So if someone's angry during that day, I may walk past them and become angry. They don't even have to say anything to me. All right, if someone is grieving because there was a death in their family, I can walk by that person and feel them grieving, and I would be where I'm ready to cry, and I wouldn't know why, but I could feel their grief. So walking around that way for empaths is not a good thing. But over the years, I learned how to protect myself. So now when I walk around, I don't feel all these emotions from people because I walk around protected. And ever so often, someone will just slip through and I'll feel their emotions. But I don't try to do that. Um, I don't want to. Okay, it's very difficult to walk around like that every day. And it goes the same for uh, mediums. Okay, so I'm also a empathic medium, and for a while, all of these people from the other side were just coming through, and they were bombarding me. And it's not like I see dead people. Well, not really. It's different for me, but I feel people on the other side, and sometimes they give me images. So it may not be images of them, but it may be images of the people they want me to connect to, the people they want me to communicate to, but I don't know the people that they want me to communicate with. So that made things difficult for me, made it hard for me to sleep. Um, but I've been able to get that under control also. So I'm able to connect when to people on the other side when I want to. And again, that is not something I want to walk around and do every day when I'm just walking around. No, no. I keep it mostly specifically to doing readings for someone. So that's basically it. I do hope, that's funny. I do hope that this topic this evening has connected with you in some type of way. Uh, One of the things I'm supposed to do in life is connect to people and help people when I can. So I'm hoping that anything I said tonight connected with you and helps you. So I've been at this for just about 28 minutes. So I think it's time to start closing out the show. So let's tell you about my show, the ones that's coming next week. So you can catch me again, the Soul Reader, next week. I will still do a free reading for you if you wish, and that's every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. You can go to know2be still.com/podcast. And you can also check out the show on YouTube and Facebook. Now, tomorrow night, which is Wednesday night, Jill and I will be here with I'm Right, I'm Right. And that's every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. And you can go to Jill's website, which is jillcoxcordova.com, and click on the podcast tab. You can also watch the show on YouTube and Facebook. And I still have Poetic People Fighting Racism. And that's every other Saturday night, and I believe at 9 p.m. Eastern. And I believe the next show is on, let me see, May 4th. Yes, and I will have a special guest there, a poet that's world renowned. So come on and check out that show. And oh, you'll see. But we're going to start posting all of that information on all the different platforms that I am on. So keep watching and see who's here. So, really, I want to thank everyone for watching. Thank you for being here. And know that I love you all. Until next time, I'll see you then. Bye.